On Larry King Now, he's been hailed as the first openly gay country musician. It's Steve Grand.
You know, not even 10 years ago, I was sitting in those same seats, and I can't imagine how different my life would have been had someone stood up like me in front of the congregation and said those words. That my world would have changed.
Now, you went through therapy, right? Did your parents think they could change you?
They did send me to therapy with the intention that my sexuality could be altered.
Plus,
there are gay religious people, and they deserve to be welcomed by their churches. And I think, especially my generation more than ever is embracing the idea that, we don't all fit into one box.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest is Steve Grand. Forgive me, I'm still fighting this sinus condition, so if I sound weird, it'll pass. On July 2nd, 2013, Steve posted the music video for a song he'd written called All American Boy. It was on YouTube. It explored some common themes: whiskey drinking, pickup trucks, young flirtation, and a less common one, unrequited love between two men. The video quickly went viral, and Steve was hailed as one of the first openly gay country musicians. Today, he premieres his latest work, Back to California, which we'll show you later in the show. His Kickstarter campaign to raise money for his upcoming album also launches today, February 26. Are you the only person in the country community who came out?
Well, first of all, I never put the label on myself as being a country artist. I was actually surprised when I saw that people labeled me that way. I do love country music, but my music really spans a wide array of genres, and I think people are going to get a chance to see that when my album comes out in May.
Why did you get typed country then?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with the imagery in the music video. Like you said, the campfires, the whiskey drinking, the cars, jumping into ponds.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, that's all country stuff. But it's not really important to me either way. I think
you're a singer.
Yes, I'm a singer, and I think especially my generation more than ever is embracing the idea that we don't all fit into one box, and that goes everything from sexuality to musical genres. But
also, you write your own material, right?
Yeah, everything that's on my record is written by me. I've been writing music for a very long time.
Gay is so in the forefront today with athletics and the like. It's like commonplace. It's almost, the world has changed so fast.
Yeah.
When did you know you were gay?
I knew I was gay when I was 13. I was driving home from a week-long Boy Scout summer camp in northern Wisconsin, and there I had met this camp counselor who I felt myself drawn to, and it was the first time ever I didn't know what that feeling meant. I just felt this intense aching and longing in my heart. And it wasn't until the drive home, it was a 5-hour drive from northern Wisconsin back to the suburbs of Chicago. It wasn't until then that it dawned on me that, wow, I love this guy, or, I have feelings for this man, I'm gay. And that was the first time that thought ever came into my mind, and it was a terrifying time for a long time.
Did you do anything about it with the guy?
No.
No?
I didn't know, and I don't think he was.
In fact, none of us know why we are the sexuality cause we are. I don't know why I'm heterosexual.
Exactly.
Right, and you don't know why you're gay.
No.
It must be a gene, right? I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear that there's, someone's sexuality is not something that could be changed or altered.
We don't know why we are.
Prayer, or all the kinds of crazy things they tried, decades ago.
You're from a conservative family, I understand, right?
Yeah, they at least were conservative. I grew up in a Catholic household. We went to church every Sunday, and my parents were very traditional in a lot of ways.
How did they react to the news? Did you tell them?
Well, they found out through an AOL Instant Messenger chat when I was the summer after 7th grade, because after that trip from northern Wisconsin, that Boy Scout camp, I'm very extroverted, so I felt the need to start telling people right away, telling my friends, and
How'd
so
they react?
I would tell them on the messenger. And, you know, I got an array of reactions. Some were supportive, you know, others were confused. And it's a confusing time. I think we're, you know, at that age, you're still figuring out your own sexuality, and you're trying to understand what it is you feel. So I got an array of responses. And so, you know, thanks to them having a filter on my conversations, they, you know, were able to, you know, see it. And they took me out to dinner and confronted me about it. And it's been a very, very long journey since then. But more than anything, you know, I just think that it speaks volumes of, you know, the testament of a parent's love.
Sure.
You know, the fact that they were middle-aged, and you know, you can't control, you know, where your value system comes from when you're a kid and when you're growing up. And you know, for most of their life, I don't think they challenged it. You know, because faith and family was all intertwined in what life was all about for them, and for them to change that, you know, through midlife in order to accommodate me, you know, that just only shows that family is the most important.
You have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Are they gay?
No, they're not. Yeah.
Are your parents comfortable with it now?
Yeah, they've come a long way. They support me. You know, my mom is even all over my Facebook, and she writes back and forth to my grand fam, which is what I call my fans.
Now, you went through therapy, right? Did your parents think they could change you? Did they send you to therapy?
They did send me to therapy with the intention that my sexuality could be altered. And they were wrong about that. And you know, we've come a long, long way since then. I wasn't in straight therapy as it's been kind of reported. The therapist I saw was a Christian therapist, but he was in no way associated with the ex-gay movement. And you know, while they thought I was there most of the time focusing on my sexuality, really, probably 90% of the time we were dealing with, you know, just, you know, mostly, you know, other kid stuff. But you know, I just want to emphasize more than anything. Because I think some people have been confused by the things I've said before. You know,
well, clear it up.
I think straight therapy is it's a horrible practice. It is absolutely ineffective. It doesn't work, and it's harmful to the people.
That's just a joke.
It's a joke. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Now, All American Boy has kind of made you. Did you want to be in the forefront of gays coming out in the music business?
You know, I wasn't thinking about it like that, and I take things as they come. You know, of course, I did anticipate, you know, that being something that people would talk about. I don't think I ever imagined that so many people would be talking about it, or that it would, you know, land me on national television.
That wasn't your plan.
No, it wasn't my plan. I just really wanted to tell the story, and I really wanted to connect people. You know, through my music and through my art, which is what I've always wanted to do.
Coming up, what others in the country community have to say about homosexuality. Stay with us. We're back with Steve Grand. You're launching a Kickstarter campaign today to raise money for your album. Why do you have to raise money for an album?
Because I'm all out of money. You know, I'm doing this all independently.
Doesn't some record record you? You're very good. That was a very good video. Why?
Thank you.
Why do you need money to raise?
You know, I think especially today, there's a great power to being independent, especially because you can be independent. I made that video for $7,000, most of which was not even my money. I had to max out my credit card. 2,000 of it was mine, which was like a lot for me to save. It really was. You know, I was just playing a couple masses every week and then playing at a local jazz bar.
So how do people help you?
Like you said, I'm starting my Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter is starting today, and it goes through March 29th, so we have about 30 days to raise $81,000.
How do people give you money? How do they do it?
They have to go to my Kickstarter page.
Which is?
Well, if you go to my Facebook page, there's going to be a link there, as well as on my site, stevegrand.com.
I understand you have a story about the first time you went to church after appearing on Good Morning America. What happened?
Yes. Well, after the video came out, you know, I was on Good Morning America within days, and then CNN, and so, you know, there wasn't much mystery left in my town. You know, everyone had known I'd been playing at this church. Everyone knew who I was and what I'd done with this video. And so, you know, the church was very eager to keep me around. They really wanted me to keep playing there, which I think is incredible and shows, you know, a sign of progress on a very small level, but still progress. And on the final day of, you know, the last Mass I ever did, the priest insisted that I say something. So I was like, okay, well, you just got to be ready for what I say. And there was no way I was going to get up there without, saying what I said, which is that, I know that most of you know that I'm a gay man, and I'm proud of that, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And all I could think about was the fact that, not even 10 years ago, I was sitting in those same seats, and I can't imagine how different my life would have been had someone stood up like me in front of the congregation and said those words. That my world would have changed.
Was there any hush in the congregation?
Yeah, and I felt like, I call it this great sigh of relief, because I feel like there's so many people, of all faiths, especially where around I grew up, but I think all around the country and, hopefully around the world. There's people that are so eager to, put this issue to rest, because, people of faith, I've gotten to know them very well. They say, God loves all, and there's so many people that really want that to be true. All people should be welcome, and that's the big, issue here. That
Sure.
regardless of, in the workplace, in religion, people of all sexual orientation should be welcomed.
As the Pope said, who am I to judge?
Exactly right. Yeah.
A number of our guests have spoken out about homosexuality in the music business and others. Let's watch a couple of clips. You came out for gay rights. Are you against the trend? Is country still conservative?
Oh, no. Country is real life. Country is the news at 6 o'clock put to music. I mean, that's it. But you know what? Let's talk about Republican. Let's talk about Democrat. It's far left or far right. I think 99% of us live in the middle somewhere. I really do. So I'm
socially liberal.
I'm not gonna label country music as a closed-minded format at all.
Could there be a gay country artist?
Sure, there could be. Sure, and there probably are. The thing is, man, which is people is, I think we're all scared to just be ourselves. And what I love about my daughter's generation right now, they love each other.
Do you get a lot of backlash from the conservatives in the country community, which are many?
No, I don't, actually. I think that it's just, it's your personal morals and values. And like I said, I believe in acceptance.
But the country community has been late to it, hasn't it?
I don't know that you can generalize like that. I think, yes, there are people that are not tolerant and accepting, and then there are people that are. So I have fans that are probably both.
Will we have a gay country star? Might there be one now? We don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been a few.
Because this public opinion's changing.
Yeah. Well, I know I know of them on my side, but they just never been public.
You do know some?
Yeah.
Do you think the field would accept it? Supposing some major country person came out. We talk about this in sports.
You're right, because it is such a conservative.
Yeah.
That's when I realize how conservative it is when you say that. Who knows? I know that any blip that I've ever seen from the people that I know, it's instantly covered up.
And now we have it in sports, Steve. We're about to have an NFL player. We have one in the NBA. You think this is kind of a wave of coming out? It's the new in thing in 2014. Come out.
It's super trendy to be gay. Yeah.
It's in.
It seems like people are really coming around very quickly, and I think it's a really exciting time to be alive and to witness all this. I feel really fortunate. It's sad because it also brings out a lot of really horrible sides of people, but at the same time, there's so much positivity, and there's such a clear shift in direction and progress and a move towards equality.
Sadly, a lot of it's still in religion, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably where it started.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say religion is, it's like a glacier, and it's been around for a very, very long time, and it's not going away anytime soon. And it moves very slowly. It's a large mass that includes billions of people.
Up next, Steve will offer advice for others struggling to come out. Plus, we'll see a little of the music video for Steve's brand new single, Back to California. Have you now switched back based on that clip?
Based on, no.
What happened to you, Steve?
I knew that was
That's
coming.
a romantic clip, Steve. Has this whole interview has been a farce?
Well, this song is about a very close friendship, and it's about the disillusion of youth, about how you have all these hopes and dreams and ideas when we're growing up about what life is going to be like, and how even as early as post-college life, we start to see that, you know, life isn't all that we thought it was going to be. And even more specifically, you know, this song is about the unique friendship that young gay men also, you know, often have with their, you know, best friends that are girls. I think that's you know, a very unique and special bond. It's a very close.
Oh, I understand completely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight that comes along with being called the first of anything. What was it like for you, like in high school?
Well,
Were you the only openly gay person in your school class?
I don't think I was. I think there was at least one other kid that was out in high school when
Was
I
it
was
tough?
there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was not even sure if I accepted myself at that point. You know, I wrestled with it for years, all through high school. It was a constant battle. I was wondering if it was something that I could rid myself of, and it was a horrible feeling. It was something that I spent so much time and energy focused on fighting. It was very painful.
Supposing people see this and it sounds like a great song. The other one, someone's watching this and says, forget stevegrand.com. A record label calls and says, we want to sign you.
You know, I'm not closing any doors, but, you know, with this Kickstarter that's launching today, I'm doing this because I want my fans to be my label. They've been so incredible from day one. I get messages from them every day that I read as many and respond to as many as I possibly can. And they put a lot of trust in me. And I said, you know, from that, you know, day on July 2nd when I released All American Boy, that, you know, I was setting out to make honest music and tell honest stories.
How soon before it's Steve Grand, singer, and they don't even mention gay?
You know, who knows? I see myself as a singer first, anyways. You know, I'm a lot of things, but you know, being gay, being a singer, being an artist, you know, being an American, like these are all, you know, just pieces of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is more important than the other.
That Back to California, by the way, could be a hit. It could be a big hit.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
What advice do you have for someone struggling to whether to come out or not?
Well, you know, first and foremost, my heart goes out to them. I mean, you know, it wasn't very long ago that I was struggling with that myself, and it's something that still really bothers me, just thinking about all the kids in this country and even all over the world where it's even so much worse in a lot of places. It's horrible and it's terrifying, and you know, I would say to those kids that there is hope and it does get better, and that you will find your people, and that one day you won't feel so different. And that's something that I wish I knew when I was younger. I felt so different, and I felt like a freak, and I felt like an alien because I didn't have anyone to look up to that I felt was like me.
Don't you think that it's fast ending? No, I mean, it's gay marriage. It's happening so quick. Faster almost than the civil rights movement for the blacks.
But you have to remember, I mean, this is a very big country and a very diverse country, almost like, you know, many different countries in one. And while, you know, while so much progress is being made so quickly, also, you know, you have states like what's going on in Arizona, and I mean, it's just sad. And you know, it's the first thing I think of is, you know, it's just flatly un-American. You know, what I believe is, you know, these people are clearly on the wrong side of history, and I think they ought to know better. And you know, they're fighting a losing battle that, you know, in order to gain some votes for the short term. You know, it's just not a very good long-term strategy, and just in terms of politics, frankly.
Do you think in your lifetime you'll see it really end? You're young.
It's really hard to say, and what do you really call the end? I just know that
The end one is not even mentioned.
you know, I hope that one day that happens. I have no idea, and I don't think that I'm, you know, it's helpful for someone like me to sit here and say,
I get it.
you know, I know that I'll see that. I mean, we still have, you know, racism is still a big issue in our country, and you know, it gets masked in all sorts of kind of ways, but it's still present. It's just it evolves into a different thing. But
Sad.
At the same time, you know, progress is always being made.
Steve will answer your questions in our final segment. We'll play a little game of If You Only Knew, and we'll be right back. We're back with Steve Grand. The big Kickstarter starts today. Campaign to raise money for his new album. I'm gonna do something I've never done. I'm gonna do a contribution right here on the air.
Is this the first time ever?
First time I've ever given a contribution on the air.
Thank you so much.
Except the one time when that furniture processor came. No, and the car dealer when I was behind in Miami. Okay. By the way, you have a drawing of me?
I do have a drawing of you, yeah. So
if I don't like it, I'm going to stop this.
Oh God, okay. Well, so I, as part of my Kickstarter, like I said, for $25, you get a, these aren't unfortunately smelling markers. They usually are. You know, I don't get a lot of, my mind really never stops. And so I found that by drawing, you know, it helps me relax a little bit. And so when I was in 4th grade, like I was the best drawer, and like teachers were always like, look at this kid, like, look what he drew. Unfortunately, my drawing skills haven't really improved since 4th grade, but I still am convinced that they're all masterpieces. So this is my picture of you.
Wow, this album sounds amazing. I should really check out this Kickstarter.
Absolutely, yeah. And so I'm going to sign this for you because
please do.
It will. I mean, clearly you could see the artistic integrity in this.
It's very. I'm very impressed.
All right, and it's even in this little Crayola sketch pad here for you. There you go. Did I get it right? I got the.
Yeah, you got it. I do that with the hands.
I'm sorry your skin is orange. That wasn't. I mean, I just
that's all right.
I didn't have enough colors.
I'm Jewish. We take anything. We have some social media questions for you. Thomas Travagli on Facebook asks, "What heartache songs helped you fuel the writing of All American Boy?"
What song specifically? I'm a huge Beatles fan. John Lennon especially is probably one of my biggest influences. I think the Beatles are so amazing because they span, you know, it seems like they span the whole spectrum of human emotion. You could always find a Beatles song. So I think there's a lot of, like, you know, like Something in the Way She Moves. There's, you know, also like Let It Be. I don't know.
Sinatra said Something in the Way She Moves is the best ballad ever written.
I didn't know that. I used to cover Sinatra when I was playing at the jazz bar.
Lee Singerman via Instagram. Your family is Catholic. Are you practicing? What's your relationship with Catholicism?
Well, I'm no longer working at the Catholic Church. You know, I think, you know, like most young people, I'm searching. And what I feel good about is that I've learned to embrace that, you know, we don't have all the answers. I don't think anyone has all the answers. I don't know what happens, you know, after all of this. So, you know, my focus is to live a very purposeful life while I'm here. What I do think is important, and why I've talked about the Catholic Church is because, you know, I think that there's a great power to bringing them on our side and showing them, you know, that gay people are good people, and just like the rest of us, you know, there are gay religious people, and they deserve to be welcomed by their churches, and that's what's really important to me.
Ashley Tradwick, Facebook. How do you feel about being called a role model?
You know, I'm not sure I'm worthy of that title. There's, you know, a lot I want to accomplish. I'm just grateful that, you know, what I've done with my art has resonated with a lot of people. I get messages, you know, kids, you know, and people of all ages saying, you know, thank you for telling your story. You know, thank you for putting yourself out there. It makes me feel less alone, and that's what does it for me.
We finish the show with the thing we call If You Only Knew. Just throw questions at you. First person you ever kissed?
All right. I had a girlfriend in 6th grade. It was really serious.
What was her name?
Her name was Gina. And
Gina, there's a lot of people.
We actually broke up because I stopped sitting at her lunch table, and then, you know, before that, I think our first kiss was like at a dance, and like she kissed me on the cheek.
You sound like you still think of her.
That was the start of it. I was like, oh, this just doesn't.
Don't be embarrassed.
This doesn't feel right. I was experimenting. It was middle school. We were all trying it.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Miley Cyrus. Gotta love that twerk.
You love her, huh? Band or musician your fans would be surprised you listen to?
Well, actually, when I was in high school, I had this, you know, I went through all sorts of, like, you know, crazy phases. And, you know, for a while, I had long hair, like, past my shoulders. And I was kind of like this hippie kid, like the most drug-free hippie you'll ever encounter.
But who'd you listen to?
I listened to, this kind of music. Screamo was out for a while. So
Screamo?
Yeah, Screamo, where they would, like, scream, like, the whole time. And so...
Sounds exciting. If you could change change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I think that I would like to be someone that could let things go better, someone that could, you know, just be at peace more.
Person whose opinion means the most to you?
Well, I don't know about opinion. I would say that the person that's the biggest inspiration in my life is my grandma Kay. She's 86 years old.
They understand the most, right?
They do, and you would love her, Larry. She's so full of life. She's still going. She's never driven. She's, you know, experienced a lot of hardship in her life. She grew up in the Depression era, you know, with Polish.
Your mother's mother or your father's mother?
My mother's mother, and she just has the best outlook. She's
What's her
so
name?
hopeful. Grandma Kay.
Grandma Kay, we love you.
Yeah, Grandma Kay.
Thank you,
Love
Steve. Steve, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Good luck
Larry.
with the
This has been such
Kickstarter
an honor.
campaign. SteveGrand.com. Thanks to my guest, Steve. To donate to Steve's album, visit Kickstarter.com and search for All American Boy. Go to SteveGrand.com or Kickstarter.com. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. Hopefully, I'll feel better the next time, and we'll see you next time.